Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to talk about autofill and if you specifically enjoy autofill. Recently, I got autofilled into jungle twice, I think within 5 games or something like that. And to be frank about it, I don't know how to jungle. I'm relatively new to the game still. I think I've been playing about 3 months. And well, I just want to play in my top lane on my own little island, be up there, and be left alone. Now, after these autofills, I told my team in the selection phase, hey, just a heads up, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm going to secure objectives. I'm going to get you guys some drakes. I'm going to get the rift for you guys. Carry me, please. And that's straight up what I told him. My goal was to not feed and to make myself as easy to carry as possible. Now, I feel like in playing video games, that's somewhat counterintuitive. You want to have an impact. You want to be there with your team assisting. You don't want to do the path of least resistance, to be as non-existent as possible within the game. So both of those autofill games, they were both losses. So I went to the forums because I've talked to quite a few people and they all seem to hate autofill as well. It's not just me. I doesn't seem like I'm the minority here. So I went to the forums and I'll just read the post word for word. It says, it seems like from individuals I spoke with in game, autofill is widely rejected from this small sample size of players. I wanted to expand from there. What do you think about getting autofilled? I think if people want to queue as autofill and role select, then fine. But getting autofilled into a role that you did not select is seemingly an automatic loss if 5 players on the other team are content in their role. Just dodge, I'm told. This method does not seem to be an effective means to avoid autofill. My friend and I got autofilled. This was not the 2 that I spoke about previously. This was a different time. I dodged. We queued again after the 5-minute timer. We got autofilled into those same roles. He dodged. We queued after the 5-minute timer once again. We got autofilled into those same roles again. The game forced us into these roles. What is your win rate when autofilled? What is your win rate when teammates are autofilled? I will make an educated guess that it is not very high. I understand Riot wants to reduce queue times, but during my conversations with these players I spoke with, only one said autofill should stay in favor of lower queues. That was actually my brother. The overwhelming majority said they would prefer autofill be removed, even if it meant longer queue times. Quality of the match over quantity of matches. I am intrigued to hear your thoughts on this. Please consider upvoting this thread so more people can participate in the poll. Personally, I would sit in a 10-minute queue if it meant that the game I got in was a quality match. I feel like this would result in net LP gains, but I could be wrong. I don't want this to be a one-sided rhetoric. So, let me take a step back. What I mean by I feel like this would be a net LP gain is let's say you play 3 games. 2 normal, 1 autofilled. You win 2 games, you're up like 36 LP. You get autofilled, you lose the 3rd game. So you're up 18 LP. But if autofill didn't exist, in that same time frame with the longer queues, I could have played 2 quality matches, and if I would have won both of those, I would be at 36 LP, essentially up 18 LP, even though the amount of games I played is less. I don't know if you guys have seen my previous video, but I come from Dota. In Dota, there is no such thing as autofill, and I don't want to spark the debate of what's better, Dota or League. That's not what I'm trying to say here. Both games are fine. Both games are fun to play. However, in Dota, there are 2 options. You can play ranked, non-role, just everyone just sort of gets thrown in there and they just sort of work through it, mesh together what roles you want to play, and they just go with it. There's no roles whatsoever when you queue up. And then there's Dota Plus, where there's a bunch of different features you can get, and then you can queue for ranked roles and get into a game where everyone has picked a role. Now, this has higher queue times since there is no autofill. You will sit in the queue longer in Dota 2 for ranked roles than you will in League of Legends. Since there is no autofill, once you get into that game, it seems a lot more quality driven. Everyone has a basic understanding of what they're doing. As a result, there's less trolling, less griefing because people actually care because they're not auto-assigned in a role that they don't care about. With League, I feel that they are trying to reduce queue times. And as a result of reducing those queue times, which they do a good job. In League, you only wait, 2 minutes in silver. When you start pushing up to gold, maybe it's 3 minutes, and I don't know what it is above that. You have low queue times, but if anyone on your team gets autofilled into the role that they're not in, or they're used to, you just lose. With this post on the forums, I wanted to see what other players thought because again, the sample size that I spoke with, it was an overwhelming amount of people rejected autofill. How many people do you think out of just under 100 votes cast were in favor of keeping autofill? 28 people out of 98 were fine with keeping autofill, but a whopping 70 people, what is that, like 68, 69% wanted autofill gone, even if it meant longer queue times. I understand why it's in the game. On paper, it's perfectly fine. But if you go and you watch any streamer and you ask them their opinions on autofill, they'll say it's absolutely horrible. If you talk to people in game, they'll say it's absolutely horrible. And if you look at the comments, it's the same thing. I think autofill is a stupid idea. As much as I hate autofill is added for a reason. Do I really want it to be removed? I'm in between. People shortly after will complain about how long queues are, but I do agree it's annoying getting a different role than the one you wanted. I sometimes play support, so I don't have that much problems with autofill. This guy says, sorry bro, I'm not willing to put up with a 15-minute queue. I don't think it would be 15 minutes. However, let's just move on past that. What could Riot do instead, right? What could Riot do instead of autofill to incentivize players to keep queue times low that would allow the game to have a more natural rank system? Well, in this discussion post, I talked about a few things with a bunch of different people. Some people said they should have an option where you can unselect autofill and then have two different pools of players, right? You have the people that want autofill, that play, that autofill's a possibility, and then over here you're queuing in a strictly role-based queue, no autofill allowed. And that would be cool, but I can definitely see problems if you aren't playing in like mid-silver, or silver in general, I guess, or maybe even gold. Or essentially anything under gold, I should say. Once you start getting up to diamond and master and challenger, you can definitely start to see where there would be issues with that. Now, what I thought of is something more along the lines of if they were to incentivize players by giving chests to people who queued in roles that were needed. Let's say that during peak times, if there aren't enough junglers, then they can have a little icon by the jungle thing when you queue up that gives you an indication that that's the selected role that's going to get you some sort of reward. And it's just like when you level up, you get one of those little hero chests that give you the champion shards. If you play 4 of these games or 3 of these games or whatever is a good number, then you get one of these chests, which will help you unlock champions faster. It incentivizes players to want to go and step outside of what they do, encourages growth and playing different roles, and it doesn't screw people over with getting a different role than what they queued as. I want to hear your thoughts on this. I want to know how do you feel about autofill? Do you enjoy it? Do you want to see it removed? Are you fine with how it is? Would you prefer it being tweaked in some way, or would you be in favor of removing autofill entirely but still incentivizing players to play the lesser played roles? Let me know. I mean, I'll read the comments. I'll reply to them as best I can. If I need to make a follow-up video, I definitely will. But anyways, guys, I do appreciate your time. I hope you're having a good evening. If you like this kind of content, let me know. Subscribe, like the video. I'll try to make more talking videos like this as opposed to more gameplay. If you don't like it, let me know as well, and I won't do these. But anyways, hope you guys have a good night.